Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Ooh, let me make that adjustment there. This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome to Reganelite's Watch Along, episode 81 of this series. This one is on Wednesday, the 19th of November, 2025 at 8 p.m. UK time. We are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite1. You notice I haven't put really too much in the descriptions for this live stream because it's kind of a bit all over the place. So let me share with you guys now what we've got coming up. So going to be looking first of all, talking about the asylum, immigration, that kind of stuff. Also touch a bit on Nigel Farage and past things that he has said as well. I've got a couple of other random UK bits that I might add as well. I've got some random world news that I might add as well, possibly. I've touched on a couple of clips from the Epstein files if we get to them as well. There's a couple of clips I've got from Gaza as well. And also a couple are from Donald Trump as well. So it's kind of a mixture of things. So it's not like I've got like 10 clips of one sort of series sort of thing. So, but knowing me, thinking, oh, this ain't going to be a long stream. I know what I'm like. I'm going to end up dragging this to an hour and a half plus, knowing me there. So, happy new haircut. No, I cut it this ages ago. Stephen Banker. You guys just never saw it because I kept having the thingy hat on. And I don't go and get my hair cut. I cut it myself, to save myself money. Sorry to all the barbers out there. But there was one barber I used to go to in my previous place I was staying in, and it's not near where I am, and I don't really want to make the effort to go all the way out there to get my hair cut. So, and I wasn't keen on a new one, so I just started cutting myself, and I'm pretty okay with it. So, as long as I can do it myself, it's fine. Let me just say hello to everyone in the chat. Stephen Banker, Pete's Music, Jao, one of our moderators. Do check out Jao's YouTube channel, guys. Dave McGuinness is here. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Do check out the two Davies on their YouTube channel. Jao has provided a link there. Pete's Music. Make sure we all jam the Pete's Music. Pete's Music. I do love that name. It's such a cool name. Hope you are doing well, Pete. Reg, good to see you there as well. Hope you are doing well. Doc Davis, good to see you, Doc. Hope you are doing well as well. Billy Kershaw, good evening, fellow Badger. Hope you are doing well there as well. And Wales, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Hello, people, and much love from much love to you too. And congratulations, Scotland, with the World Cup. Yes, indeed. Let's hope that Wales makes it through too. Much indeed. Alison Keir, I see you there. Hope you are doing well there as well. Right, let me get. Yeah, I can't wear the hat on because I've got the headphones. I need to work the headphones on. Let me just adjust the volume there. Right, so let's start with asylum immigration. Okay, so Shabama Mahmood was asked on ITV. She's done lots of interviews, to be fair. But I wanted to touch on this one here because there was an AI image that I want to share with you guys, actually. I should share the AI image, actually. Let me see if I can find it. There was... I should... hold on a second. Where is it? I need to show you this because this is just... This is... I'm sorry, I should have had this... It's not... it's an AI image of her that Reform UK put up, and it kind of sums up the party, really, or sums up her really here. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. So Reform UK posted this this morning, saying good morning to Shabima Mahmood. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, so dear, oh dear. I mean, I gotta say, it's terrible. Like, I'm just like, people, like, it's just so like, she didn't take it too well though. She didn't take it well over my dead body. I will say that though. But yeah, it's just pretty it's pretty embarrassing when you're getting made to look like that. And I have to say, like, it really does. It's very embarrassing that she's trying to come across as somebody who is like really going to be tough on this, trying to come across to as if like, you know, move over Suella Braverman and Priti Patel, I can be a real Home Secretary. And like, I do like, a part of me thought that Yvette Cooper would generally get a grip on this. I generally thought she would get a grip on this, right? And the only reason why I think she got cast aside in the cabinet reshuffle was because of the subject it is, because it's such a big problem, and it's quite a big role for especially someone of Middle East origin and a woman to be taking that role. Yvette Cooper obviously was a white woman, but you know, it's quite telling. I mean, we've already had the other two Home Secretaries as well. I just feel like that this is not working for Labour. This is just not working, and they're just trying to out Farage, and that's how I feel about this.
Nigel Farage has tonight said that he thinks you're auditioning to.
I just noticed something was wrong, and I realised why I can't hear anything, because I haven't plugged my headphones in. Blooming useless. I am just not at it today, guys. Sorry. Right. I'm just not on my game today, guys. Might be because of the previous live stream. Right. Let me start again.
Nigel Farage has tonight said that he thinks you're auditioning to join Reform, but realistically, what you're proposing is not going to woo hardcore Reform voters, and you are going to alienate a lot of people on the left. Actually, politically, this is not smart, is it?
Well, firstly, Nigel Farage can keep his opinions to himself. He can frankly sod off. I'm not interested in anything that he has to say. And let me just say to people of all political persuasions who are watching, I'm not making a political calculation here. I'm not making an election calculation here. It is my responsibility as the Home Secretary of this country, who can see a broken system, to work out how to fix that broken system and to work out what is the right thing to do, and then to go out there and make the argument for why these changes are the right thing to do for the right reasons, because they will fix the problems that people genuinely see and genuinely are occurring, and in doing so, to retain support for having an asylum system at all.
Look, it's not that. It doesn't matter if you fix the system. It doesn't matter if you clear all the hotels. It doesn't matter if you make if you make all the brown people go away. If you generally reduce asylum, like, it makes no difference, right? It really doesn't make a difference. Do you want to know why it doesn't make a difference? Because they're not going to come back and vote for you. The Reform voters have already made their minds up. You can't convince them to come back and vote Labour because they don't fucking trust you. You've proven as a party to be unreliable. The Conservatives have proven themselves to be a party unreliable. So why should they vote for you? Why now? What's changed? Oh, what? Because you using tough rhetoric? Because you swore in the House of Commons? You think that's going to make people say, let's vote Labour? Do you honestly think Tommy bloody Robinson is going to tell people to go out there and vote bloody Labour? You're having a bloody laugh, right? You think that guy is going to tell people to go and vote Labour just because he likes the language and the direction that you're taking the asylum system? Like, do you honestly think you're going to win these people over? You're not going to win these people over. They've already made their minds up. What you should be doing is using humanity, using decency, using some bloody common sense. There is no common sense in this. There is no political advantage for doing this. There's no political advantage for doing this. And you're abandoning your own principles as well. This Labour Party has completely changed from before it came into power. Completely changed. It just comes back to that. same rhetoric that you hear all the time. That same line, guys, that power corrupts all. Every single time.
Everything else, that's politics. That's downstream of all of the main choices that I'm making. My responsibility is to deliver a system that the whole of the country can have faith in.
And listen, I want to make this clear. Like, we all agree the system sucks. The system doesn't work. We all agree that. What we all disagree on is how it should be done. But what we vehemently people here in my chat and those on, if you want to call them the left or centre, excuse me, what we vehemently disagree on is how we're treating some of these people. And I hate the fact that they are going down and using this tone of language, copying the language that the right wing have implemented into our mainstream narrative. And they really have manufactured into people's minds that all their problems revolve around immigration. And it's just not true. It's just not true. Immigration is a small factor. Small one. But it's been blown out of proportion. So much. I have a bone to pick with Ben Kentish here. So he says on LBC, what do Zach Polanski, Nigel Farage, Keir Starmer and Kemi Baganoff all have in common? Ben Kentish has the other. They're all exploiting division rather than fixing it, right? Really? Let me just play it and I'll tell you why.
The Home Office coming out yesterday and giving the example of an asylum seeker who was receiving £800 a month from abroad and driving around an Audi. I don't dispute it's happening. I'm sure it is.
Exactly what people want.
But what proportion of asylum seekers in this country are driving around in Audis? And the answer will be, it might be the only one. There might be 5 of them. But when the Home Office is making public examples like that,
Here's the thing that I have a grip with. I hate these examples being used because I never see any fucking evidence that proves that people who are in the fucking asylum system or on benefits are driving Audis. No one gives me any fucking evidence. I call this fabricated bullshit because I don't ever see any evidence of this whatsoever. They keep making this claim that, oh, these people are driving in Audis or they have swank houses or watches and they're taking money from the public, buying all this expensive stuff. And I just like they hear it all the time and yet they provide no evidence whatsoever. No evidence. No evidence. I just and expect you to believe that people who are coming across on boats, people who are claiming asylum, oh, don't mind me, while I wait for my asylum claim, I'm going to go and pick up an Audi down the road. They expect you to be that fucking thick because they honestly think you're that fucking thick. And the stupid thing is, there are people in England who are stupid enough to actually believe that, to think that there are people who are while they're claiming asylum, driving around in an Audi, and it's just so much bollocks. It's such bollocks. Why are we believing such bollocks? That's the thing I just can't understand here. Dear oh dear.
they are fueling division. They are whipping up the tensions and they are stoking hatred. Is it not incumbent on our political leaders to try and bring people together?
Yeah, there is. You're absolutely right. And you know who's been doing that? Zach Polanski. And you know why? Because everything he's been saying is all about bringing people together. Yeah? You may not always agree with him. And I know not everyone in the chat is completely on board with him. And I totally respect that opinion. But how often does he talk about hatred and anger? Like, I feel the guy, is trying to unite people as best as he possibly can. Is he perfect? No. Does he have flaws? Yes. But he's certainly a hell of a lot better than what everybody else is doing right now.
I can't think of a prominent politician in this country at the moment.
That's because you're a fucking idiot.
Who is not trying to deepen divides rather than heal them. On the right and the left.
That's because Ben Kentish doesn't actually watch politics properly. Because if he does, he would see that you can see the likes of Kemi Baganoff and Nigel Farage are trying to stoke that division. And Zach Polanski is talking with common sense human indecency here.
all the party leaders, it strikes me right now, from Zap Polanski to Keir Starmer to Kemi Badenoch to Nigel Farage, are trying to exploit division rather than fix those gulfs, those chasms.
If he has half a brain, I dare him. I fucking dare him, seriously, to sit down in an interview with Zach Polanski, because I guarantee you would not be saying that in front of him. If I didn't say it, if I missed anyone saying hello, I hope you guys are all doing well. Regan Hans Regan chef hat cook. No, I'm just like it upsets me, guys, because innocent people are suffering over this. Innocent people are suffering over this. They're being used as a political weapon. Like, I'm not just saying, look, guys, I'm not just doing this stoking anger to, like, get a super chat or any bollocks like that. No, I'm saying this from a humane point of view, right? There are people who are generally coming from war, from persecution, people who generally want to come, contribute, and be a part of English, Welsh, Scottish, Northern Irish society, and actually want to be a part of our communities, be a part of our society. Yeah, generally want to become British citizens, English, Scottish, Welsh, whatever nation you are from, yeah, who generally want to that, and they're being used as weapons of war, weapons of this culture war that has been fabricated, that has been manufactured by those on the far right, that has been fueled by the right-wing media, by the right-wing influencers, to stoke this hatred, to stoke our anger and frustration amongst each other, rather than talking about the main issues about inequality, the cost of living crisis, the struggles that we get for our NHS appointments. What are we doing to dealing with crime? The basic necessities. What are we doing about our education? But no, all that is being pushed aside because of the culture war that is being pressed so hard by those who have influence in so much media establishments that we are constantly hearing over the time. And innocent people are being made as scapegoats for the benefit of the rich and the wealthy. And that's the thing that really upsets me more than anything here. Is that innocent people are being victimized in all of this. You know, how many times did they talk about the grooming gangs, right? The Pakistan grooming gangs. And yet they don't mention anything about white grooming gangs. They don't mention about any other grooming gangs. It's all politicized. And they don't give a shit about the humanity. And that's the thing that hurts me the most. You know. I had not planned to rant like this, guys. This was not my plan, okay? I swear to God. Wales, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. First of hopefully 4 more super chats before the end of this live stream. Cookie big beautiful bastard, cauliflower, much loves as well. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate it. When I come to Wales again, I will let you know. If you're not on my Discord or Wales, do join our Discord, and because I assure you I will be going back to Wales again. Anyways, Zach Polanski did a quote tweet response to this, going, "Huh?" So yeah, he was like just as confused as me and so many other people. So this is just a snippet of Politics Live here. When you take into account the rise of Nigel Farage, that we can never go far enough into placate him and an increasingly extremely core people who want to go much further than just deportation of refugees. Remember, there was there was a reform politician who called for the deportation of legal migrants, people who have legal status here as well. Yes, links in the link is in the description for Discord. Anyone wants to join the Discord, it's free to join.
So much to agree with what you're saying. And I think one of the problems I think some of the Labour MPs will have is the tone. So the island of strangers, the performative videos, the cruel performative videos of people being deported.
Yeah.
There's an element within our party which doesn't seem to read the room on this for us.
Yeah, like those videos that Labour government put out. You guys remember those? There was videos that they put out, promotional videos of them showing them packing up and deporting migrants. This is just like, yeah, we're getting rid of the immigrants, and it's just like they're human beings just like us, you know. You do realise that, right? And then it comes back to, how many times have I said on this live stream about the Labour controlling the narrative? And again, they're not controlling the narrative at all in this. Not for the rant for Ollie, says Alison Keir. Thank you so much for the £2 super chat, my friend.
And I think also as well, when you take into account the rise of Nigel Farage, that we can never go far enough to placate him and an increasingly extreme core of people who want to go much further than just deportation of refugees. But
yeah, because when does it stop there, right? When does it go? When is it enough? Because if you because what will happen is that you continue down this rhetoric, we continue down this line. Like I'm going to tell you right now, like if you think that we can't have I-style agents in the UK under a reform Russian government, like there is right now in the Trump administration, if you think that can't happen here, you're talking out of your ass. That can definitely happen here. It will just be the border force, and they will be severely fierce. They will be trained to be really cruel, and they will target literally anyone who doesn't have documents on them. Like that, we will go down that road once we leave the ECHR, where we don't have the protections of human rights. It will give them and a reform Russian government will pump huge amounts of money into border force, into immigration forces, and they will literally go step by step to rural areas all over the goddamn UK. Yeah, not just England. Oh, they're coming to Scotland. They'll come to Wales, and they will go through community by community, and you're going to have the same situations that you're seeing in the likes of Los Angeles, in Chicago. You're going to see them here with a reform government. That is what you're going to see. If you don't think that's not going to happen under a reform Russia,
remigration, in effect, of people who are settled communities are in this country. And that's where the fear is coming from. So, yes, social democratic countries do need to take, but it needs to be evidence-based. The evidence for deterrence working isn't there. You look at most of the research from the Home Office and other countries in there. There are also other models to look at. The Spanish model. The Spanish economy is booming. They give refugees the right to work after a very short period of time.
And that's a really key point. And, people keep kicking off about how much money is being spent on immigration, about, all these asylums who are claiming money from us. How many times have we said, allow them to work? If you don't want taxpayer money going towards them, allow them to work. Allow them to work so that they can earn their living while their asylum claim is being processed. Why can't we do that? Why is it so hard to do that? Literally 5% unemployment. We need some jobs filled. Why not let them fill them? Because not every Briton is going to fill those jobs.
Integration, and just finish on this, integration and language skills.
Yeah.
And if you look at how much they take more refugees than we do, many other countries do. We don't take that many compared to many others. So I think there are lots of things to kind of input here.
It's really, really important to stress as well is that, the rhetoric is so riled up here because we do not have proper control of our media here, because we don't have the Leveson inquiry implemented, and that's a big problem here. And because we don't have a grip on our media, it's allowed to be amplified, the immigration, far more than it is in other European nations, despite the fact that we are sitting was it mid-table? If someone could have a nod and let me know where we are sitting in terms of taking in migrants, what's the latest figures? I'm pretty sure we're roughly mid-table. I know we're not at the bottom, and I know we're not at the top when it comes to immigrants, migration that we are taking in comparison to other European nations. But we're certainly not like the top of the food chain in any way, shape, or form. But that they're trying to make that impression that that's what we're doing. I think this is quite an interesting one here from Tom Swalsbeck. I don't always agree with him here, but I thought he made some interesting points here and really put the pressure on West Street in here on some of the points that he made here.
Are you ready, as a Labour politician, for the sound of, the sight of, the reporting of families with small children perhaps forcibly removed from the country?
So one of the things that the Home Secretary is making sure is that where people have got no right to be here, that we are deporting them, but also supporting them to be relocated as well. So actually, the number of forced removals should be low because
your colleagues are very upset about this.
following what other countries like Denmark, which a lot of our stuff is modelled on,
You notice how he never said no to the question, and I like that Tom started to pointed out the fact that you're talking about children here. We're talking about children here, and that's a really, really and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of English people that are messed up right now on their thoughts on immigration. But when you throw children into this, I think that really does play with people's tunes here, and the fact that the very possible, I'm not comfortable at all with the idea of deporting any children whatsoever. Personally, I think it just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit with my conscience in any way, shape, or form, considering the kind of what the UK kind of is when people always keep bigging it up, when people big it up as the Great Britain or England of Wales and Scotland, Northern Ireland, and they talk about deporting kids. That just doesn't sit well with my conscience,
This is a progressive country with a centre-left government, a signatory.
You're not a centre-left government. Do not bullshit me.
To the European Convention on Human Rights. What they have done is actually increase the financial incentive for people to come forward and say, okay, I've got no right to be here, I'm going voluntarily.
Yeah, because that's the only... But here's the stupid part, right? Here is the stupid part, okay? So one of the... Oh, thank you, Alison Keir, has just said, I've just looked Reganelite. The UK is the 5th in the EU on immigration take. We are the 5th. Okay. So I would say maybe a bit mid-table, shall we say, roughly around about. Which sounds about right. Yeah, I would say Italy. I think Italy, Greece, and Spain. Italy, Greece, and Spain are probably the ones at the top. I'm assuming, because obviously of where they're positioned geographically wise. Now, here's the problem. Here's the fault with giving money to them to send for them to go voluntarily. They could just get on a boat and come back. They can just get on the boat and try and come back. This is the thing. I just don't. Some do go and never come back, but they can do that as well. And I do feel like a part of me does feel like a huge amount of tax. I don't like that we are giving money for people to go. I feel like that's a waste of taxpayer money. I really generally do. I don't like giving people money to say, please get out of our country. Please take this money and get out of our country. I don't like that at all. I just feel like it's a waste of money. I really do feel like it's a waste of taxpayer money.
So you don't have that kind of force removal.
So there won't be that enforced removal of those
But what I can't do is sit here and say that if there's a new immigration policy, it won't be enforced. Because to be honest, Tom, that is a big part of the reason why the country's in the mess that it's in on asylum and immigration.
No, it's not. The reason it's in that situation is because of A, Brexit, because of B, austerity, and C, because of the language and the rhetoric that has been used by the far right and the right-wing media and the tabloids that have pumped this information so much down the people's throats that they generally believe that their problems revolve around immigration rather than the cost of living and inequality that they have suffered for decades. Those are the three main reasons. And a lot of it has been manufactured to believe that. I generally believe that. Immigration is a factor in our society. But was people kicking off and screaming about it before? Generally, I wasn't paying much attention to politics before Brexit. But I generally have a question for people who have been following politics for years and years and years. How much was immigration on the subject between 2000 and 2010? In comparison to other subjects? Where would you have ranked immigration? Would it have really been in the top 5 discussions? Do you think, because I generally thought the economy was always the number one thing that people care about. Crime, education, healthcare, I would have thought these would have always been the number one. But apparently that is not.
Honestly, comfortable? No. But is it the right thing to do for the country? Yes.
Are you ready?
I appreciate at least the bare minimum that he's not comfortable with it. But he didn't answer the question about the children, which I wasn't happy about. And that kind of language about how do you feel, like, that's what should be pressed on these Labour politicians. How does it feel? And that's the question I would like to see put up at Prime Minister's questions against Keir Starmer. How does he feel about deporting and separating families? How does he feel about deporting children, considering he's a father? That should be a question. Should be asked. If anyone didn't see, Max did a video on James O'Brien's monologue, and I do recommend checking it out. But I also watched the full monologue from James O'Brien. It's about 20 minutes long. I do recommend people to go and listen to it. I think it's very powerful. I know not everybody, James O'Brien is not everyone's cup of tea. But I do think, yeah, he does hit the nail on the head on a lot of things here. He does. But this part here, I think, is worth listening to.
The problem is that everybody telling opinion pollsters that they're minded to vote for Farage is comfortable with racism. That's just, an observable fact. Have a look at what he says about people who speak foreign without mentioning that his own children do. Have a look at what he says about children in school who've got English as a second language without mentioning that his own children do. Have a look at what he says about foreigners in general, shifting effortlessly from Romanians to some other unidentified ethnicity and who we wouldn't want to live next door to. That's the problem. You've got high numbers at the moment who are supremely comfortable with racism, some of whom would even go and march to the tune of a convicted fraudster who literally came perilously close to ruining the trial of grooming gang members while pretending that he's dedicated his whole life to trying to bring them to justice. How do you know the difference between someone who is, if you like, a victim of the rhetoric, the propaganda, the discourse, the conversation, and someone who hates black people or hates brown people or hates all Muslims? How do you tell the difference? Shabana Mahmood thinks that this policy will almost point out the difference for us.
Oh, I don't see that. I can't see that. I just, the path we're going is just really dark. It's just really, really dark. Well, Reganelite migrant unaccompanied minors cannot be deported or sent to a safe country in the EU. They are minors, hence you won't leave children hanging in limbo. And if we leave the ECHR, what then? Human rights lawyer, ... says Billy Kershaw. My English niece has just moved up here. She ain't no dafty and she can see the benefits, says Reg. Well, I hope she's happy. I generally mean that. Reg, I generally mean that. So, the Green Party, it says it's inequality that is causing the problems we are facing. Green Party peer Green Jenny Jones speaks to Sky News about Labour's inhumane asylum policy.
What you're doing is you're blaming all the woes of society on a group of people who are desperate for safety. And instead of looking at the people who really have caused all these problems, it's inequality that causes the problems that we're facing. Labour has not created enough safe managed routes. We've done it for Ukrainians.
I will say, though, we do have to wait and see what safe and legal routes that Shabina is going to be implementing in this policy. And that is going to be the key question. The key question is, what safe legal routes are they talking about? Because they have mentioned about the safe and legal routes, and generally keen to see what they are.
We've done it for a few other nationalities, people from Hong Kong, for example. If we had safe managed routes, then people would be able to come here, justify their arrival, start to work, start to pay tax, start to create businesses, and actually be a huge benefit to our society.
That's the thing is really, really important. You know, until we get past this point, we will never have growth. Our economy will not grow. It will always stay stagnated because we're not applying the workforce that we need to it. And our economy relies on immigrants. The reality is that we need immigrants. We need immigrants in our economy. And what we're doing is we're pushing people away because of the rhetoric and the language that is being used by a lot of people.
The problem is that everybody telling opinion,
including this government. What they don't realise is that there is that in a way, the government is hurting us while trying to claim that they're trying to make us better. I feel bad that the UK is like a starving man refusing bread. Scotland and Wales, their way out is independence. For England, I don't know if Zach Plansky can save England. But I do know one thing I am certain of is that if the Green Party were to ever get power or share power or whatnot, they will do things and say things that I will not be happy about. I know, but I do believe that they will probably be the better than what any of the other political parties are offering. Because when you are in power, you can never please anyone. You know, Nigel Farage does say a lot of things. And I want to remind us, I know it's an old video, but I want to remind us of what Nigel Farage wants to do to our national healthcare service. And we must never forget this. And this is what is coming down the road. Yes, West Streeting is already taken us some way down this, but this will happen to everyone if we don't stop this man. And this is a video that should be played in every single village and town, to every single person, every single man, woman and child needs to see this video and remind them consistently that you are voting for a man that is going to take away your national healthcare service, your right to a free healthcare.
I think we're going to have to think about healthcare very, very differently. And I think we're going to have to move to an insurance-based system of healthcare. Frankly, I would feel more comfortable that my money would return value if I was able to do that through the marketplace of an insurance company than just us trustingly giving 100 billion a year to central government and expecting them to organise the healthcare service from cradle to grave.
Yeah, because he wants an American style system, and we know how well that's going in America. People still forget that, and this video is so important to remind ourselves that that is what Nigel Farage wants for us. Now, the reason I'm playing this clip, and this is a reform voter, a right-winger here, is of how dangerous, of how clever and manipulative and conniving Nigel Farage can be. And I don't know how many people remember this clip, but it's an interesting one here.
Would you admit that this country would be nothing without our rich history of immigration?
Well, I tell you what. And this is what's gone wrong. Because you talk about immigration, and it ran from after the war up until the millennium at net 30 to 40,000 a year. And yes, it worked. In fact, we had the most successful immigration policies of any country in the whole of Europe. No question. Now, it is so totally out of control. Just think about this. 2.5 million people have come in the last 2 years. You wonder why you can't get a house. You wonder why your rents have gone up 25% in 4 years. You wonder why our infrastructure is struggling. You wonder why we have to build a new house every 2 minutes just to cope with the numbers. And that's the issue. It's now running at numbers that are literally unimaginable and are diminishing the quality of life of everybody in this country. And frankly, this should be the biggest issue of this election.
And it's very, very powerful, very potent of what he said there. The house and the rent, and yes, we've had a massive increase. We've had a massive increase in immigration, and I don't think anyone is arguing that. But this is where I come back to a point that I've made in the past as well here when he talks about, the increase in immigration, and my response to that is it's not just UK immigration. It is global migration. It is global migration. It's not just Brexit, Joe. Yes, you're absolutely right. Brexit does play a factor into that. Absolutely does. But global migration is a factor behind it all. Because we know, and it's not rocket science, we are seeing Climate change having a massive impact on a lot of countries. We're seeing lots of countries still continuously at war, and not only that, if that doesn't add more to global migration, you're seeing less foreign aid from the UK, from the US, from a lot of European Western nations. And what happens, guys? What happens when these nations who rely on foreign aid, in order to have some kind of life where they are, what happens? They leave. They won't stay where they are if they're going to just die of hunger, if there is no hope, if there's no future, if there's no kind of decent life for them, at least a decent life for them where they are. They're going to move because it's natural for humans to want to have a better life for themselves. So they're going to up and they're going to move. There's a war taking place in there, or there's conflict taking place there. Do they really want to stay there? No, they're going to up and going to move. Do they want to leave their country? Do they want to leave their homeland? Do they want to abandon their friends and their family? Of course not. Some do, but most of them don't. Most of them want to stay where they are, but there are circumstances out of their control, and this has contributed to the rise of it. The decrease in foreign aid, the increase in climate change, the increases in conflicts that we have still, the UK and Europe, and who are responsible for the carnage that is taking place on the continent of Africa, who have not done enough to deal with them and help settle these disputes. We are responsible for this. We're responsible for global migration. We are responsible for immigration. Brexit, yes, does play a factor in particular for the UK. But it's never going to stop happening. You can't stop migration, but you can reduce global migration if you're prepared to put the money in, if you're prepared to put the time in, if you're prepared to put the hours in, if you're prepared to work on an international basis to help resolve conflicts, to help tackle climate change, to give nations that are poorest the help that they need, so that they do not need to leave their homeland, so they do not need to flee to Europe, to America, to other lands, so that they can actually build the homes, build the schools, build the banks, build the infrastructure that they need to have decent lives for themselves. It's not rocket science. It really, really is not. Good evening, Steve McMahon. Or should I say good morning over in New Zealand. Thank you so much for the 20 New Zealand dollars. Evening, everyone. Hope you're all well. Thank you so much for that, Super Chat, my friend. I hope you are doing well. It's good to see you there. Why are the English the only nation in this union who don't want to stand on their own feet? It's called the media, and they're very good at manipulating them. Farage's Brexit was the fault, the numpty Dublin Agreement, yeah. It's the misinformation, it's corporations drowning house stocks, using them as assets to be lived in. It's never been in power. What the hell does Farage know about it? Yes, and actually, yeah, that's a very good point, Wales. You made a point about, landlords as well have been taking advantage of our homes as well. Like, lots of them have been chunking up lots of our housing as well, has been a problem as well. So that's another factor in there too. But they use the numbers of immigration to basically say it's all migrants, it's all migrants, when there's so other mitigating factors when it comes to housing there. Max Robespierre said it best about Nigel Farage. He tells you truth, he gives you a bit of truth, but tells you a lot of lies. And that's what he done here. Yeah? The video comes across very convincingly, right? Our infrastructure is struggling. Well, the infrastructure is struggling. Well, we know why the infrastructure is struggling, because infrastructure wasn't built for the last 14 years because of austerity. So that's a pretty obvious answer. That's the obvious answer for why infrastructure hasn't been building. And this here, these next two clips are regarding the BBC. We're going to shift a little bit away from asylum here. These kind of little nitbits feeds into the mindset of his voters and his fans as well. It's an old clip, but I think it kind of digs into the kind of thing where remember, Nigel Farage wants to see the BBC fall.
Just seems to be a total lack of comprehension on this panel, and indeed amongst this audience, which is a remarkable audience, even by the left-wing standards of the BBC. I mean, this lot's pretty left-wing.
Hang on a second.
Very interesting.
Hang on a second.
When you talk
Nigel,
about
let me
housing,
just say one thing.
Yeah.
This is an audience that has been carefully chosen, not
Very
by the
carefully.
BBC, not by the BBC, but
Yes.
by an independent polling organisation to represent the balance between all parties.
It's never a great
That's very good.
Very good.
You know, anything to demeanour and undermine and disrupt the BBC. And for all the problems that I know my Scottish friends feel about the BBC, and they've made their points clear, and they will continue to make their points clear about this, and absolutely rightfully so, the BBC Scotland, in terms of news and politics, should detract itself because it doesn't share the views of, it doesn't share a fair and balanced view in that country. In terms of an institution, it really, really is under threat. And I say this, if we lose the BBC, what takes its place will not be in any way beneficial to us. I really, really can't stress that enough. And this was just a few hours ago from Ed Davey here, and I think this is a staunch defender of the BBC.
he's angry with the BBC, and you know what? He's got every right to be angry with the BBC.
Donald Trump is gunning for the BBC, and his mate, Nigel Farage, couldn't be happier.
The BBC, under our plans, would be slimmed down to something very relatively small.
But why is Farage so keen to see the end of Britain's cherished public broadcaster? Especially when the BBC puts him on TV so often and gives him such an easy ride.
Remember, remind yourself, how many times has Nigel Farage been on Question Time? How many times has he been on Question Time?
This might have something to do with it. Nigel Farage has been paid over £330,000 by GB News in the last year alone.
Mm-hmm.
Farage is deep in the pockets of a company that aims to replace the BBC and put an end to independent, impartial news altogether.
Well, I did notice that Donald Trump's press secretary, Catherine Leavitt, suggested British viewers watch GB News, not the BBC.
No wonder Nigel Farage is egging Trump on to destroy the BBC, to serve his own interests and line his own pockets. We can't let him.
But you know one thing, folks, whether you're watching at home or in the car listening to this, it is very much the advantage of GB News.
Trump's America. Don't let it become Farage's Britain.
I do like that catchphrase. Don't let it become Farage's Britain. I think it's a very powerful line from Ed Davey. Again, I know people have disagreements about the BBC, and that's totally fine. Brexit growth, vultures and jackals and rats, says Mr. E. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Farage doesn't like the EU because he was exposed as the idiot and the general ignorant populist that he is in the EU Parliament. Yeah, he was. But what he should have done is disappeared into the realms of go away and never come back again. You know, that's what should have happened, but that didn't happen, unfortunately. I think I might save those ones for a bit later. That's not no, I'll save that one for later. Shall I go to this one? No. Let's touch a little bit on so as far as I'm aware, the Epstein files, the bill has not been signed yet, as far as I'm aware. Someone can confirm it if anything has happened since then. But as far as I'm aware, the bill has not been signed yet by Donald Trump. It passed the House comfortably. One idiot voted against it, and one Republican dumbass in the House voted against it, while every other Republican and Democrat voted, and all Democrats voted for the release of the Epstein file. So the guy I can't remember the guy's name, but he will be remembered as the guy who tried to protect Jeffrey Epstein for the rest of his sad, pathetic, miserable life. His argument is that it would not protect victims, which is bollocks. which does not go well to him. So there's a couple of random clips here, but I wanted to play this one here. And it was yesterday. So yesterday, Marjorie Taylor Greene was outside the Capitol as they were obviously preparing. Still not signed, says Reganelite. Okay, thank you for that. So it still hasn't been put to his desk yet, but it could be by the time tomorrow here. So Marjorie Taylor Greene and among some others were in solidarity with the victims here, because there was a group of victims here. And Marjorie Taylor Greene has really gone on the attack. I really do think that she's gunning for a run at president for the Republican Party. I really do think she's going to go for it, because she has shifted her pattern so much over the last 6 months from where she was, from being a staunch Trump supporter to really go behind. And I think she knows, and I think she's seen, like, if I turn before other people turn, yeah, I'm running a political risk, but at the same time, I'm showing that I'm prepared to be brave enough. And the thing is, we know that Marjorie Taylor Greene is a vile individual. She's a vile individual. And that's why the Republicans could end up rallying behind her when Donald Trump gets the boot, because it is coming. That boot to Donald Trump is coming here. And her basically being on the side of the victims in all of this really is good publicity for her. I don't know if she, and I want to make this clear, it's possible that she's generally doing this for the victims and not for publicity, for political gains. I'm not suggesting that. It's possible, but considering the kind of track record that she has. But I think here, she really does stick the knife into Donald Trump. And she's been sticking the knife into Donald Trump quite a lot lately, despite Donald Trump trying to bite back.
I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And I've never owed him anything, but I fought for him for the policies and for America first. And he called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves. A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me.
I mean, it's pretty strong. I mean, it's quite a powerful punch, for Americans there. And when you're, this is good publicity for Marjorie Taylor Greene, and people will remember this. So I've got a sneaky suspicion she's gearing herself up for a run as president, and I'm not looking forward to that. We thought about J.D. Vance possibly taking over from Donald Trump when Trump kicks the can. I think she can be a lot meaner and nastier. Remember, this is this is actually a bit of an old video, but I just want to, there is some discretion in this video. I don't know. I've watched this video and there is a little bit, it's quite strong, some of the stuff in here. So I just to say, do be advised. But I think this is worth sharing with regards to everything that's going on. Obviously now he doesn't say, he's not saying it's a hoax now, because he's kind of screwed here. But Don Wilson reshared this yesterday, saying none of this is a hoax. Donald Trump and the Trump administration have repeatedly used the word hoax in various ways. What part is a hoax? Please retweet this important video. So yeah, this is quite powerful.
When he turned over,
like I said, viewers' discretion is advised. So I'm just giving you a warning now.
That's when I was instructed to. Get undressed and have sex with Jeffrey Epstein while Ghislaine Maxwell was participating as well. The sheets and the bed covers were all white, and I woke up with a pool of blood. I mean, a splash of blood, like you could splash it, and I was in so much pain.
The entire narrative surrounding Jeffrey Epstein is a hoax.
I was raped repeatedly. I was raped 3 times a day sometimes. There was a constant stream of girls being raped over and over and over again.
Epstein took my sexual innocence. I was only 15 years old.
I was only 14 years old.
I call it the Epstein hoax.
Oh my gosh, I was 14 years old. I was terrified and I was telling him to stop. Please stop, you know?
And did he?
No, he did not stop.
I was only 14 years old when I was introduced to Jeffrey Epstein.
The Jeffrey Epstein hoax.
He forced me to have sex with him, basically. I really had no choice.
You would describe it as rape.
This is truly a manufactured hoax.
I was only 14 years old when my friend brought me over to Jeffrey Epstein's house.
The Epstein hoax.
I was a 16-year-old high school student.
The Epstein hoax.
I remember what he did to me in that hotel room.
The Jeffrey Epstein hoax. It's unbelievable.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights.
You know about sexual predators and things like that.
Right.
I mean,
you are one.
All right, I was going to say that, but it's true.
Even the physical signs and the mannerisms of some of these women when they talk about it, I know it. I think Robbie would be up for a short Brit interview just saying, come on, Daz, yeah. It's pretty, yeah, thinking about this all, like, the thing that angers me is that I just still feel that, some people have said that, that there are so many more people out there who are connected to him that we're not going to get all the answers if it does get released, when it does get released. We're going to get some answers, we're not going to get all of them. But will we get any justice? Will these women ever get any justice? It's really hard to say.
So I'm for any. I don't. They can do whatever they want. We'll give them everything. Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it. But don't talk about it too much because honestly, I don't want to take it away from us. It's really a Democrat problem. The Democrats were Epstein's friends, all of them, and it's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax, and I don't want to take it away from really the greatness of what the Republican Party has accomplished over the last period of time. So
just no, like it's just he's so guilty. It's just insane. It's so guilty. It's insane from this man. He's so guilty, and it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And this guy is the fucking president of the United States as well. How did America vote for someone like that? I know it's not, it's not confirmed, but my God, it definitely stinks. Does it not stink of it?
The good folks at Courier Newsroom have compiled all of the more than 23,000 Epstein emails into a searchable database, which is quite a service. And the one name that appears more than any other in all of those emails is Donald Trump's. The Wall Street Journal has even created a handy visualization guide to show just how much each figure is mentioned over time in these emails, also a service. The blue dots here represent each of the Epstein emails that mention former President Clinton. These ones represent each time the emails mention former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers. And these ones represent all the mentions of Donald Trump. Far more, by a lot, than any of the people Trump just decided to investigate. And that is just from these 23,000 emails. I mean, who knows how many times Trump is mentioned in the estimated 100,000 files the Department of Justice is still refusing to release.
At the time of this recording, of course. So apparently, Pam Bondi implies the full and unredacted Epstein files will not be released here, according to her.
Off topic.
On the Epstein files, does the new investigation by the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney prevent the department from releasing all of the remaining files?
So we have released over 33,000 Epstein documents to the Hill, and we'll continue to follow the law and to have maximum transparency. Also, we will always encourage all victims to come forward.
Why does Kash Patel look like he's holding something in there? He look like this is the FBI director, and look at him there on the bloody right hand side of the screen. He looks terrible. He looks like he's he looks terrible. You could just what is that image, mate? Like seriously, this is the director of the FBI. He looks like he's taken coke. He's taken something, that's for sure. Guy's taken something. He's definitely taken something. Don't know what. Keeping on with Donald Trump here. I think, yeah, maybe I shouldn't show that. Probably get in trouble. I'll show this one. Once again, reinforcing the kind of man that Donald Trump is. Some of you guys may have heard this clip, but for those who haven't, listen very carefully to what he says.
So he dictated a couple of memos to himself. Give me a break. You're going to find out what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that he knew, including J.P. Morgan Chase.
Sir,
Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead.
Incriminating in the file,
Venezuela, sir.
Quiet.
On Venezuela, sir, you've had a lot of meetings on Venezuela. I know.
Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he just said to the female reporter? If you didn't hear it, listen again. That's right. He said to a female reporter, "Quiet, piggy." A reporter. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Should I play this? Should I play this? What's the worst that could happen? They could take the live stream down, I suppose. Stupid YouTube muted me, says Indie Duck. So, no president in history... Yeah, fuck it, let's go for it. No president in history is more enmeshed with Saudi Arabia than Donald Trump. He has extended business ties to Saudis that the president and one of the clearest conflicts of interest in history. Today, he entertains the US guaranteeing their security. Be aware, you're going to see... I'm just going to make you aware right now. You are going to see... let me just... You are going to see... if you haven't seen the 9/11 footage of planes crashing into buildings, you are going to see that in this clip. So I'm just going to warn you now. If that's a bit too much for you, you can step out the room. I can understand that. But I do think this clip tells you a lot about just how close Donald Trump is to Saudi Arabia. So I'm just giving you that warning now.
Saudi Arabia provided al-Qaeda with support, financing, and resources that were critical to the success of the September 11th attacks.
The Saudi government using school books that teach Arab children to hate Jews and to hate Christians.
Intelligence agencies have confirmed Saudi Arabia's crown prince personally ordered the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
Maybe he did, maybe he didn't.
The Trump administration informed Congress that the president will invoke emergency authority regarding arms sales to Saudi Arabia.
Both sides of the aisle are criticizing the Trump administration's latest arms deal with Saudi Arabia, accusing the administration of bypassing Congress.
The biggest concern, Saudi Arabia's human rights record.
I wish it didn't have this pathetic music. I'm sorry. But as long as you guys can hear it, I'll come to those super chats in a minute. I hope you guys can hear it at least.
Their involvement in the conflict in Yemen. The Saudi-led coalition has been accused of indiscriminate civilian casualties for the worst humanitarian crisis in the world right now. Children are literally starving on the street.
How exactly does the country and its government get to ignore this? And what is the nature of America's relationship with Saudi Arabia?
Donald Trump has more involvement and is more enmeshed with the Saudis than any president in American history.
I like the Saudis. They're very nice. I make a lot of money with them. They buy all sorts of my stuff. All kinds of toys from Trump. They pay me millions and hundreds of millions. Saudi Arabia, and I get along great with all of them. They buy apartments from me, they spend 40 million, 50 million.
We've become very good friends.
We are with Saudi Arabia. We're staying with Saudi Arabia. And by the way, just so everybody, I have no business whatsoever with Saudi Arabia. Couldn't care less.
And of course, guess who was at the White House yesterday? I think it was yesterday or the day before. Of course it was. It was the Saudi prince, Mohammed bin Salman. Stephen Moore, thank you so much for another 10 New Zealand dollars. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. It's very kind of you. Alistair McKeer, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. All hail the DPR. All hail DPR indeed. Thank you so much, guys, for those 2 super chats. I appreciate it. Reg says, I've been in jail. These people wouldn't last 5 minutes in general population. Yeah. Journalism. Yeah, it is Wednesday me. Yeah. Thank you guys for those super chats. I really appreciate it, guys. Golden envelopes. Yeah, golden envelopes. Golden envelopes indeed. You know, Donald Trump bashing the climate summit there. Him calling them piggy. It apparently got mocked here. It wasn't too bad though, but apparently he got mocked here, humiliated here. Apparently, I'll let you guys decide. Didn't seem that much, but
I want to be very modest. I always want to be modest as I can. They say this has been the best 9 months that any president has ever had. I want to be very.
I mean, a bit of laughter there, but it's not like everyone's laughing at him. But it was good to hear some people laughing at him, shall we say? I like this. Apparently, Fox News are telling their viewers that they're not fans of Donald Trump. This is quite interesting. Fox News shatters Trump's approval myth amidst the viewers that his approval rating has plummeted to as low as 38%. They've given him 9 months and things really haven't improved. Please make sure everyone sees this. Yes, guys, this is actually Fox News reporting this. This is no bollocks.
President Trump's approval rating falling to 38%. That is the lowest it's been in his second term. People are unhappy with Trump's handling of consumer prices and, yes, the Epstein files. Kim Strassel joining us this morning. Does this mean Trump's affordability messaging isn't working yet?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right, Stuart. And this is a huge wake-up call for Republicans. And if you actually look at Trump's approval rating, it actually has been sliding for a while. And I think what happened here is voters had a lot of optimism that he really was going to turn around the economy. And they've given him, 9 months now, and they've been waiting. But suddenly they've been looking around, and things really haven't improved to the degree that they thought they would on cost of living. Yeah, I mean, gas prices down in some areas of the country. There are some glimmers of good news here and there. But overall, he's not performed, and that's what the polls are saying. He's not lived up to people's expectations. So Republicans, they got a lot of work to do in a short period of time before the midterms.
That's really good to hear. It's good to hear that from Fox News, because that will irate Donald Trump, that will irate the Republicans, that will feed into Republican viewers, those who are staunch defenders of Donald Trump. So it won't be a good look for him there. So it's good to hear that coming from. Coming from Fox News there. Just a quick reminder before we go. We're going to go to a couple of other clips as well. Tomorrow, guys, I'm going to try a series. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm going to have Graham Price on tomorrow evening, to myself and him, and I'm going to try a series called Labour Watch. And we're going to talk about the Labour Party. We're going to talk about this government. We're going to talk about some of the things they're doing. We'll see how it goes. But if you guys want to join us for it tomorrow evening, feel free to do so. That is tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Just myself and Graham Price, power to the people. And if it goes well, I might make it a regular series of myself and Graham Price doing a show once a month, like me and One Angry Pagan does. I think that would be quite fascinating to do here, guys. Excuse me. And of course, make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe button. If you can do that, guys, it would be greatly appreciated as well. Fox is funded by Republicans, and they're telling them that Trump is dead weight and it's time to bet in on a new horse. That definitely sounds like what it is there. Definitely sounds like what it is there. Wouldn't get out of processing. Excuse me. Apologies. Saudi government has bought all the sports and comedies as a PR stunt, says Alston Keir. Yeah. Stephen Morn also says the Bin Laden family were also friends and business partners of the Bush family. Oddly, they left the US immediately after 9/11. Yeah, funny timing that, wasn't it? Trump, I love oil. Saudis, we love to buy corrupt politicians. Trump, I'm making a deal with the Saudis. I have no business with them. Couldn't care less. Yeah, I know. Insane. Yeah, insane. Mr. E, thank you so much for being a member for 11 months. I really appreciate it. Saying, being a member for 11 months, saying, we need to wake the feck up. Yes, we do need to wake up. We do need to wake up, Mr. E. Thank you so much for that. England in particular needs to wake up. That's definitely the case that needs to happen. Thank you so much for continuing your support. I really appreciate it here. I want to remind you guys that while I continuously I do talk about Gaza, I also want you to remember that it's not over just because there's a ceasefire. I know you guys know this, but I want to reinforce that message here.
The genocide is still happening. Just because they're not dropping as many bombs or shooting as many people does not mean it is over. There is no food, water, or medical supplies getting in. It is an absolute rainstorm. Winter has set in. And if you watch the videos, you will see flooding everywhere. And you will see that the occupation is going back and re-bombing all of the buildings so that there's no shelter. People can't afford tents, and the ones that can, these tents aren't meant for long-term living. People have been displaced like 10 plus times, taking the tent down, putting it back up, and now they're at the coast. And while they're on the coast, there is the Navy shooting at them. And when this rain is downpouring and there's no infrastructure, there's no way to channel the water, and there's no sanitation, it means the sewage and the water is intermingling and flowing throughout those tents, creating opportunities for disease and infection. And with no medical supplies getting in, people cannot be treated. The genocide has not stopped, and this is accelerated, and nobody is paying attention because it's silent. Because you don't hear the bombs and you don't hear the pew-pews. But they need us more than ever now. So please, your voice is so important.
It's really important. I said this on yesterday's evening live stream, is that the reason, and I said this there, and I want to say this because there's quite a few of you here that wasn't there on yesterday's live stream. The reason why they voted for the Trump Gaza peace plan is not because they care about Gaza, not because they care about the Middle East, not because they care about what's happening here at all. No. The reason why Western leaders, the United Nations, and whatnot, the reason why they backed the deal mainly is for political reasons. It is because they do not want Gaza to be a conversation when it comes to their elections, when it comes to their politics. They want it to be domestic issues that people vote on, and they do not want politicians losing power based on what's happening in the Middle East. And they are desperate to re-image Israel for the rest of the world, because its reputation has been severely damaged, and rightfully so. They are desperate to re-image Israel as good guys again. And they will do, and this so-called ceasefire is designed to paint the picture of you don't need to pay attention anymore. We're not going to talk about it anymore because it's not a subject that's worth talking about now. It's all over. It's ceasefire now. It's not important news. Let's talk about something else. Come on, people. Let's stop protesting. Let's go back to talking about the domestic issues. It's about protecting the systems that are in place that keep Israel with its influence. And this is about politicians maintaining their power, because many politicians, both in England and in other places, have suffered as a result of what's happened in Gaza. It is again a source of manufactured trying to paint this picture. I generally believe that. Don't even need sound for this, but you can literally see this is just one. I mean, these people are a lot more fortunate than others because they have actually shelter here. They have some shelter. Yeah, they are in rubble, but they have some shelter. And I don't have all of them. I don't have all the clips, but there's a lot of people in a lot worse state. There's some people literally in tents being flooded by water that I've seen. Literally flooded in water. That I have seen. I'll come to that last one in a minute. Is that no? Oh yeah, I'll come to that one in a minute. I don't have the full clip, but I've listened to some of this interview already, and I do like Sateo. I really do like Sateo. I do recommend subscribing to Sateo. Mendy-Hassan is absolutely one of the best when it comes to talking to people. And this clip here, although it's a short one, kind of speaks volumes about children in all this. And we touched a little bit on children when it comes to the situation in the UK, when it comes about asylum, when it comes about families here. And obviously this is just a whole nother level of it.
You have spoken out about kids in Gaza. I've seen you speak about in Sudan. You mentioned the Congo a moment ago when you first started working with Save the Children. You've posted about kids from Israel who were taken hostage and killed horrifically. You've posted about all these things, but when you speak out about kids in Gaza, Palestinian children, some people, I should say a minority, go crazy. They think it's somehow controversial, it's divisive. And you said the word humanity. Are Palestinian children less human than other children? Should we care less about them? I don't quite get where the controversy is coming from.
We know where it's coming from. We know where it's coming from. I don't need to tell you in the chat. You should know exactly where it's coming from, because we know exactly where it's coming from. We know who's orchestrating it. We've already discussed how they want to treat Palestinians as second-class citizens, as inferior to all others.
What you're doing is just so human.
It's sad that people try to make it controversial when you speak out for children that are facing immeasurable suffering, the largest cohort of child amputees in modern history, that acronym for a child who has no surviving relatives. And I think it should be controversial to not say anything.
It's really powerful. I do recommend checking out the interview, guys. And powerful indeed. So, despite all the problems, though, children still find a way to have fun, guys. Still find a way to have fun. So, this video from Al Jazeera English, they show Palestinian children in Gaza using inoperative power lines as a swing. Well, kids need to have fun somehow, guys. Because why not? It's not much, but it's something. It's something. No, of course it's not safe. You don't need to tell me in the chat, but it's something. It's something. I wish they did not have the music in this, but my God, I can't. I've never seen this. I don't know where this is from. But my God, this guy. If you want a reminder of humanity, my God, this man. God bless this man, and I really do mean this. What he has had to endure. This is pretty powerful.
You have children? Yes. So, a father to a father, a human to human. You know, once the apple fell down, we discovered the gravity. So let us today.
Sorry, I'm sorry about the music, but just if you only need to, you don't even need to listen to what he says. If what he does next is extraordinary here, guys. I hope the music isn't too much, but what he does next is extraordinary.
Discover the humanity and the truth. The members of the family who were killed.
These are all your members of your family?
Of the family on the 7th. They became piles, their bodies. This is my niece who was killed. This is her body. This my niece who was engineering, graduated. She was found under the rubble. This is my niece. She is a medical doctor. She was supposed to start her specialty. This, my cousin. This is my nephew, who is a physiotherapist, and he was killed. This is my niece's daughter, and that's what we want to see. These people, they have names, they have faces, and that's what is needed. This is my daughter Bisan, who was killed 16th of January 2009, who said to meet violence with violence doesn't solve any problem. There is an alternative way. It's not by action and reaction. It's by being a human and behaving and thinking of others. This is Mayar and Aya. Even my niece, she named her daughter Aya after my daughter. Aya was killed also. These daughters, I raised them to be human. You have
Sorry about the music, but my God. That burnt a fucking hole in me. How many times have I said I always try to understand other people and try to put myself in other people's shoes. I don't know how that man is able to. I don't know how anyone, any human, can do. Have to put up all those families of loved ones and whatnot. Like I just cannot understand how people have. I cannot do that. I just don't know. Before I wanted to. There were other things here, guys, but I wanted to share this as well. This one here, I think it's an important one from the Pope here. The Pope here was in a stunning moment. The Pope came out in support of the US Catholic bishops who took a powerful stance against Donald Trump's cruel immigration policy. This is amazing. This is really powerful.
What is it that U.S. bishops have made a very strong statement about the deportation and detention of migrants. What do you think of it? And they kind of said that you've got their back. Were you behind that?
Well, I've made some statements about that already. I appreciate very much what the bishops have said. I think it's a very important statement. I would invite, especially all Catholics, but people of goodwill, to listen carefully to what they said. I think we have to look for ways of treating people humanely, treating people with the dignity that they have. If people are in the United States illegally, there are ways to treat that. There are courts. There's a system of justice. I think there are a lot of problems in the system. No one has said that the United States should have open borders. I think every country has a right to determine who and how and when people enter. But when people are living good lives, and many of them for 10, 15, 20 years, to treat them in a way that is extremely disrespectful, to say the least, and there's been some violence, unfortunately. I think that the bishops have been very clear in what they said, and I think that I would just invite all people in the United States to listen to them.
Very brave. It's very brave. I take my hat off to the Pope because I've never actually heard him really kind of, you know, go after, sort of, like, really say, hey, what you're doing here is wrong. And this is the first time I've heard the Pope really say that. I think that's quite powerful. And I think, you know, that what I generally appreciate from him is, you know, the tone and the language that he used there, and against about the humanity there, and I think that's quite very powerful from the Pope there. And fair play to him. I really mean that. Fair play to him, guys. And I think we needed that here. And I'm going to share this clip as well here because American journalists are getting slaughtered left, right, and center here, and Anderson Cooper kind of brings it up here, you know. And I think this is worth listening to as well.
A couple of weeks ago, Anna, or days ago, the time is truncated, when he was turning to some guy, a female reporter, was trying to ask him a question, and he was saying to the guy, like, I just like to watch her talk, like just completely dismissing this person. And I know DEI is not allowed anymore, and I know diversity and, you know, actually treating people with decency and human kindness is not, you know, what's popular today in some quarters, but I just don't understand how somebody acts like this time after time, and everyone just pretends like, oh, that's just what this guy does.
It's what I've told you in the beginning. We've grown numb to it, and I think we have to fight that urge to normalize it and get numb to it. And I also think that other journalists in the Oval Office, or other journalists that are present when he behaves this way, have to express solidarity with the people that are getting berated. Because today it might be ABC, but tomorrow it might be us, or it might be them. And so, it just can't be allowed. This is something that if your children did,
well, I mean, my other thought is these are all things he has been called as a child or at some point in his life. And, like, it just seems absurd to me.
I'm glad he kind of mentioned it. I kind of wish the media would stand up a little bit, but they're all terrified of him. The reality is they're all terrified of him. That's the truth. They're all terrified of him. I want to give you guys some little bit of hope here in England before we go to our funny video, before we see ourselves out here. The Green Party put out this video yesterday. At the budget, the Green Party's message is clear: cut bills, tax billionaires. And I hope you enjoy this solidarity, because even though I'm not a Green Party member, I'm a strong supporter of them here in England. And like, they're not perfect, but I do feel like they are the best shot we have here in England of taking us in somewhere in the right direction.
Bills. They're going up.
And up.
And up. And you know what else is?
The wealth of the super rich. It goes up again.
And again. And again.
The UK's richest families now own more wealth than half the population combined.
While 1 in 3 children live in poverty.
As your life gets harder,
their wealth grows bigger.
And here's the truth.
Labour, Conservatives and Reform, they won't change that. Because their billionaire backers don't want them to.
So they will say you need to make more sacrifices. Blame minorities for the problems you're facing.
Or that it's a choice between people and the planet.
But there is an alternative.
At the budget, the Green Party's message is clear.
Cut bills, tax billionaires.
Bring down the cost of essentials like energy and water.
By taking them into public ownership, running them for you, not for shareholder profit.
Cleaning up our rivers and protecting our planet at the same time.
Make housing affordable again.
By introducing rent controls and insulating every home, cutting heating bills and emissions.
Bring in free school meals for all primary and secondary children.
And scrap the two-child benefit cap in full.
And how can we pay for it? By transforming our tax system so those with the broadest shoulders pay their fair share.
Starting with a 1% tax on wealth above 10 million.
And this is just the beginning.
Join our movement to cut bills and tax billionaires.
Let's make hope normal again.
Need some hope, guys. Need some hope. We need some hope. We need some hope. Should I play that one? I should play that one. Oh, why is it so small, the screen? Hold on a second. Let me see if I can. Can I? Hold on a second. Let me fiddle about with this. 1 second, guys. I wish the screen was not so small. Hold on a second. I wish her screen wasn't so small. I like this because I like... hold on. Let me... Before I switch over, let me just check this. So, some of you may have seen JoJo. She's an annoying... One of the most annoying... MAGA can't stand her because she likes to stick the knife in to Republicans and MAGA supporters. And she thinks they're stupid. And guess what? They are stupid. So, take it away.
They think you're fucking stupid. Not regular stupid, not that forgot your password again stupid. They think you're fisting a beehive stupid, wandering into traffic stupid, should not be allowed to microwave soup without supervision. Stupid. That's the whole blueprint. That's the whole grand design. The Republicans' coffee-stained, dog-eared little star chart titled, "Assume the voters are fucking idiots." And Donald Trump, his commitment to that delusion is biblical, because he really, really thinks you're stupid. He needs you to be smooth-brained, adult-sized applesauce wandering the grocery aisle like you're trying to solve a maze printed on bong water, weapons-grade stupid. He talks to America like he's babysitting adults who lick outlets for sport, and then proudly show him the scorch marks. He stands there in that tragic orange glow, a punished beach ball someone forgot to deflate after a Mar-a-Lago orgy, explaining the economy to a nation he assumes has the mental texture of damp casino carpet, still warm from whatever the hell happened on it, because he thinks you're fucking stupid. Look at him. The black funeral parlor hand caked in pancake makeup, the cankles fighting for their lives, the suit that isn't a suit but a tarp straining to hide a whole Radio Shack's worth of braces, pumps, bandages, batteries, backup generators, and whatever medieval contraption keeps him upright. And he calls that perfect health because he thinks you're fucking stupid. Then today, he bragged about saving you from the tariffs he put in place to bring down grocery prices he swears never went up. A man arguing with his own lies in real time because he thinks you're fucking stupid. He thinks you won't notice your grocery bill beating the shit out of your paycheck. He thinks you won't notice your rent turning into a hostage negotiation. He thinks shouting hottest economy in the world like a televangelist mid-stroke will make you forget. We're living in the economic end scene of Thelma and Louise because he thinks you're fucking stupid. And while you're rationing bread, he's building himself a $350 million gilded ballroom, a gaudy Xanadu of gold trim and mail-in security, a monument to his delusion constructed on the financial corpses of the people he screws, because he thinks you're fucking stupid. And now, right on schedule, the Epstein panic hits, and he's flailing like a man being hunted through a carnival funhouse by every terrible thing he's ever done. These emails aren't leaking, they're blowing the fuck up like IEDs in Outlook, little explosive truth bombs turning his alibis into shrapnel. Epstein says he could take Trump down. Epstein says Trump knew. Epstein said Trump asked Ghislaine to stop. The visits, the photos, the teenage employees, the girl who was 16, he knew he was involved. He is implicated. And he still wants you to believe they're fake and real, planted and exonerating, a hoax and an emergency, a nothing burger and a national crisis. Why? Because he thinks you're fucking stupid. Last week, he treated a discharge petition like it was the nuclear briefcase guarded by a laser maze, 3 horny angels, and a Doberman in night vision goggles, and poof! The concussed birthday clown declares himself the Pope of Transparency, even though he could release the Epstein files right now, this minute, on the toilet. He controls the DOJ. He's the one hiding the files. That pending investigation excuse, just gaslighting with a federal seal on it because he thinks you're fucking stupid. He posts stiff hostage photos with Melania, a woman radiating the energy of someone trying to astral project out of her marriage, and he thinks that counts as innocence because he thinks you're fucking stupid. And he genuinely believes 77 million self-sabotaging masochists are too stupid to notice. He's fixed no bridges, raised no wages, revived no factories, cleaned no water, lowered no insulin, helped no one but predators and plutocrats. Because he thinks his base is stupid. He thinks you're stupid. He thinks we're all stupid. Republicans have no platform, no policy, no improvements for anyone but the rich and the monstrous. So they distract, they misdirect, they shake jangly bullshit in your face like busted street magicians, hoping you won't look behind the curtain, because they think you're fucking stupid. But the real question, the only question, the one they're betting everything on is, Are you?
Oh, the MAGA, they despise her. The MAGA movement, they fucking despise her, guys. I kid you not. And I absolutely appreciate and adore her. She is taken up with a lot. There was a Jonathan Pye one, but I'm not going to endorse a 6-minute video of that as there. I might save that for another time here, guys. So, guys, I'm going to leave it there because we've gone over 9:30 there. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who came along tonight. Thank you to those who gave super chats tonight. Steve McMorran, Alison Keir, and let me make sure I get everyone because I'm terrible. First of all, thank you, Mr. E, for being a member for 11 months, for renewing that. Appreciate it. Yep, Alison Keir, Steve McMorran with your super chats. I'm gonna just want to make a triple check. Was anybody? It doesn't show. Did anybody else give super chats? Why is it not showing me every other super chat? God damn it. Stupid fucking scroll bar not going further up. Oh, it won't go further up. I hope if anyone else gave super chats, please remind me. I do apologize, but for those who did, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and thank you guys all for coming in here. I really do appreciate it. I'll be back live tomorrow at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. for another Good Morning show. So if you want to join me for that, feel free to do so. A reminder that tomorrow evening, myself and Graham Price of Power to the People, I have to say that because he's such a cool name, we'll be coming together and we're going to talk Labour. We're going to talk about Labour. We'll talk about some of their policies. We'll talk about what's been happening and kind of just share our thoughts back and forth and whatnot. I don't know how it's going to go. We'll just see how it does. It's a bit of an experimental thing I've just thrown together, and we'll just see how it goes. So join us for it, and maybe it'll go well, maybe it won't, maybe it'll be a disaster. Who knows? So yeah, join us for that as well. But on my way out, if you guys can for me, please hit the like button, share it across social media, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out Rumble and Patreon as well, and do check out for more stuff on the front of the homepage as well. And again, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all. And I can't go just yet because someone just gave 5 gifted memberships. Mr. E, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships there. Hold on one second, guys. I want to say, yeah, he's given 5 gifted membership to Scott Hayes, Reg there's been given one as well. 91 Leeds, Ellie Bentley, Alexandria have all been gifted memberships there by Mr. E. Thank you so much, my friend. I think you really appreciate your support there. Thank you. That's very generous of you. Right on the cusp as I'm doing my outro there. Yeah, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah. And I hope to catch you all very, very soon.